It is time to wake up now.
Wake up! Don't sleep your life away!
Rise and shine. 6 a.m. and your hand can't make it to the alarm clock before the voices in your head start telling you that it's too early, too dark, and too cold to get out of bed. But you didn't ask their opinion. The voice you've chosen to listen to is one of defiance. A voice that says there was a reason you set that alarm in the first place. So sit up, put your feet on the floor, and don't look back, because we've got work to do. Welcome to the grind.
Go yourself.
You want to do it now? I'd love to do it right now.
From the heart of downtown Madison, live from our State Street studios, The John and Gordy Show on 92.7 WMDX.
Okay.
Fancy stuff.
Good morning.
Haven't heard that one in a long time.
Yeah.
Well, last time I wanted to play it, it was still summertime and it wasn't cold in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I like it.
Yes.
I like it. And a good morning to everybody out there. It is very slippery on the roads this morning.
Yeah.
So be careful.
I think we had a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch of snow. Just enough.
Just enough to make you wonder, should I shovel or take the leaf blower or not do anything at all?
Just
I opted for
wait it
nothing at all, but
Same here.
Your house is on a hill. You're going to, hit the brakes on your car and just go sliding down the
yeah,
hill.
yeah, that driveway is really, really sloped.
Is it?
Yeah, it's almost impossible to stop. So I hope everybody, is just keeping their eye out on High Point Road, my driveway. I can't control my car anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't think it was quite that bad, but
It's pretty bad out there.
the plows have been out all night long. You
They have. They
hear
got
them all over
one
the
That woke
behind
city.
me
you.
up this morning. I got a parking lot behind my house, and
Yeah.
the beeping when they were backing up was my early alarm clock today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they got to get out and do something, right? They got to use the trucks for something. There's not a lot of snow out there. The city equipment that uses the brushes now instead of blades for snow blowing.
Yeah.
I find that really interesting.
Yeah. You find that soothing?
I
Restful?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It's,
The white noise.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that'll work in deeper snow, or
Prob-
if it doesn't work at all. I'm not sure what happens
Probably not.
when we get a bigger snowfall.
Yeah, I don't think they use it with the big snows.
Yeah?
Big, heavy snow.
Well, did you check on that?
No, I haven't
All right,
checked
well.
on that yet. I'll
But
put
your
that on my-
professional opinion is
I'll put that on my list of things to do. At some point.
well, I didn't get that silent signal from you.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's early.
But it was close. that was close.
You were talking just before we went on the air about Rob Thomas, right?
Yeah, Rob Thomas. Yeah,
I don't think he's with the Cap Times anymore. I get the feeling
I'm
he's
not sure anymore. Madison Minutes or
City
yeah.
View or whatever that's called.
CityCast Madison.
CityCast. That's what he's with. 'Cause he was with Pete Schwaba last night.
Yeah, I was listening to him on the way in. Boy, he knows his stuff, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
But Schwaba didn't say anything about the Cap Times, in his introduction. So
okay. All right.
I think it's just CityCast.
All
He's
right.
still got it on his. He's still got it on his LinkedIn.
Oh well, okay, never mind. Then.
Really? It's still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just don't know.
Yeah.
But we should have Rob Thomas on the program sometime. He's a wealth of information.
Right. Sam, see if you can line that up. Put that on
I'll
your
do
list
that,
of things.
just for you.
I missed something that
What?
they did talk about, and that was a place where comedians who are on the spectrum can perform. Did you catch the club for that?
I didn't catch a club. It sounded like there was a group of comedians. Yeah, and I don't know if they all
autistic
play.
comedians,
Right.
and they have a place to
Yeah.
perform.
Mm-hmm. Or they travel together. I don't know if they're all on the same
Yeah,
stage somewhere or what. But yeah, that was
but it
kind
was
of
really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of missed that.
What, going to comedy club? Well, they're talking about Madison being quite a comedy city, and it's
Right.
true. I mean, Comedy on State just below us here, a couple of floors
That's right.
down, and Atlas Comedy Improv, and they mentioned several others I didn't realize.
Yeah, we seem
Monkey
to
Business.
refer to the fact that these comedy clubs are always in the basement of another business.
Of a pizza place.
pizza
or something.
place, yeah.
Why pizza? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Well,
look, Sherry sent us a big emoji this morning.
Wow.
Thank you very much,
sleepy
Sherry.
Today.
Yeah, well, she looks sleepy in the emoji. Yeah. Oh boy, there it goes. It's a little cat, and it's a very tired looking cat.
Big yawn.
Good morning to John and Gordy and Sam. They included you, Sam.
Oh, thank you.
I know
She
you
always
feel left out.
does. She always does. She feels sorry for him.
Yes, it does.
It's true. I'm chained to the desk here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can text us or call us, 608-879-8255. It's a chilly start this morning. What does your watch say the temperature is? Because I'm doubting this temperature this morning that I've received from the National Weather Service.
Well,
They're saying 10 degrees at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's quite like that. Is your watch not working?
No, I haven't.
You're scrolling.
It's 22. No, wait.
No, it's not.
That was yesterday. It updated, and it's 9 degrees.
Okay.
And it says a high of 15 today, and it says one below for tonight.
Okay. Yeah, really cold again tonight.
Yeah.
And then the warm-up really begins.
Yeah, but we really have to get a professional machine out here
Well, which one should we use today?
to predict the high temperature
We've got three
today.
of them, John.
Well, let's
need
use
more.
the one-arm bandit.
Okay.
No, remember we're going to get the bar dice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what happened to the
But we
bar
never
dice?
did that because we couldn't get
they're
a
the
good
smallest
sound
ones.
effect.
That one of them got lost, I think. I got to track it down.
Okay.
We got the one-arm bandit here, though.
All right,
Okay, let's see what the average die is. First number is 0, 1, 5.
there you go.
Okay, 15. We got a jackpot.
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful.
There's so much news, all right? I'm going to warn everybody. There's a fire hose of news coming up after 7 o'clock.
Okay.
We don't have a guest, and we're just going to plow through what is going on
Got a
in
lot
this
of
country.
stories.
This is insane. You got to keep in mind that, Trump is 78. He'll leave office at 82, and this is like his last term. Now, he could say that he's going to be king forever if he wants, and we don't know if that's going to happen. I think it could. But at the same time, if this is his last hurrah, he can do any damn thing he wants to this country.
That's
right?
a little scary. Yeah.
And he is doing everything he wants to this country. Nothing is holding him back.
Yeah.
And, well,
wait and see how that goes. So far, it's
that word I want to be able to say on the show. And it's that show. It's the S show.
It's
John,
the S
That's
show.
what's happening.
Didn't you say yesterday you wanted to be able to talk about Trump less?
Yeah, let's just not talk about him anymore.
Yeah,
How can you? How can you ignore the S show that's happening? You
I
can't.
know.
You can't.
You really can't.
Completely.
And I will accomplish that after the first few days.
After the
here.
next 4 years is done, right?
No. It's just that, it's like a kamikaze pilot approach to government, right? He's just doing anything he wants at this point, and people are freaking out.
Well, tell everybody what we heard about the press guy that they want.
Yeah, no, this is this is
hilarious.
The mega influencer Candace Owens is crazy. She's nuts, but cute, I guess. She urges Trump to appoint, get this, Alex Jones as press secretary.
That would be hilarious, actually, but also really scary.
Now, if you're familiar with Alex Jones at all, he goes off on a tangent, and he goes off.
Well, he operates on a very high blood pressure and anger level.
Any one question from a new any news source, he would just blow up. He'd blow up.
Explode. Yeah. Oh boy. Well, hopefully, we'll see.
I'd love to see that, actually. She says he is more equipped for it. He has run a show for decades. Well, there you go.
Okay. Well,
if you've been on TV and if you've had a show, that qualifies you to run government, be a part of the administration.
Yeah. Why not? Hey, let's check the National Day calendar.
All
We
right,
got a couple of
let's do
things here.
All right.
Is it or is it not National Security Technician Day? Is it National Bankers Day, National Handwriting Day, or National Pie Day? Which one of those does not belong? John?
Oh,
Sam?
boy.
Who wants to go
boy,
first?
Oh, boy.
Sam? You already know.
It's not Pi Day because Pi Day's March 14th, 3.14.
Well, you're wrong.
What?
It is National Pie Day.
What? Are you kidding me?
Well, we'll get to that in a moment.
See, that's why I didn't say anything. The Pi Day thing threw me, and I'm like, I'm not going to say it's not Pi Day.
Okay.
So
What day would it
it's
choose?
not. What's the fake one that you mentioned?
I'm not there. It's either not National Security Technician Day, National Handwriting Day, or National Bankers Day.
It's not Handwriting Day.
Well, you're wrong too. We got
What?
double wrong. It's not National Bankers Day. Okay. There we go.
It's National Bankers Day for the next 4 years.
Everybody's gonna withdraw their money from the banks.
No, these guys are in charge now.
Okay. Well, let's check out National Pie Day since
All
you
right.
guys both wanted it to be.
Yeah, we kind of wrecked.
Seemed like
wrecked
that.
that.
National Pie Day celebrates one of the nation's favorite desserts, no matter how you slice it. Pie is, in just about any form, makes a crowd happy. Fruit pies, berry. What are you looking at?
Look at my little search bar down here.
What happened?
On my screen?
Oh, there's a pie
There's
there.
a pie, slice of pie
What
in
the
there.
hell? How did that?
I don't
happen?
know.
I guess Microsoft celebrates Pi Day.
That has to be it.
Very weird.
Wow.
Fruit pies, berry pies, cream pies. They're all mouth-watering servings of homemade goodness.
Well, there it is right there.
Yeah?
See, I clicked on it.
You see?
It's-
Recipes for any time
Yeah.
of the year. What do you like? Results of the most popular pies. Cherry pie, apple pie, pecan, blueberry, or other. Which do you think came in first?
Apple.
Of course. 37% for apple. What would come in second?
Cherry.
No.
Cherry.
Pecan.
Oh.
Then it goes to cherry.
Well, that's strange.
Then blueberry. Okay.
All right.
Fun stuff, huh? Okay. Let's get to the
No
other.
rhubarb pie, my goodness.
National Security Technician Day. National Handwriting Day. Why would we need a day for handwriting?
Boy,
Because
I don't know.
the kids aren't even learning it anymore.
And I think they are. I think they've got a couple of classes on it. Learning the basics.
Yeah. Well, I think
But,
they're
it takes
phasing it out. They're phasing out
It takes a
cursive.
long time. But from what I remember, learning cursive takes
Yeah.
a long time. Connecting the letters together and
Not that long.
different forms of the letters.
Okay. We're going to continue with more of John and Gordy. We'll look at the history book next.
When they hear about this winter wonderland, so let's go. clam, do the clam. Grab your barefoot baby by the hand. Turn and tease, hug and squeeze. Dig right in and do the clam.
Yeah. 92.7
You can't get your heart to
WMDX,
spin.
one of the great songs
On the
from the
King.
soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the soundtrack songs are so bizarre.
What was the soundtrack for? What film was this? Was it? Do you remember?
I can't
Is
remember.
this girl happy? That's the picture that's here.
It could
with
be,
it.
yeah.
I've never seen an Elvis movie. I don't think.
Oh man.
See, the thing is with a lot of the earlier Elvis movies, the title always had girls in it. And the title had nothing to do with what the subject matter in the movie was about. And
It didn't matter.
So it's hard to know what movie it is really from Girl Happy. You know, it's like girls, girl happy.
Yeah.
You know, you just
Beach
like
Girls. Yeah.
and nothing and the title didn't relate to anything in the movie. So, you know, it's like a story. Every movie has like a story where Elvis is a hard-working individual and he's going to make it on his own. Every movie is like that.
Right. And they're bad guys.
Yeah.
They're causing some trouble.
But then there are some women in it, but a lot of times they're not really main characters. They hardly make an appearance in the movie, but the title says girls, girls, girls.
Well, a lot of those
get them
movies.
in the theater.
That's
get
it.
the men in the theater.
Get them in the theater. It was either girls or beach.
Yeah.
You know, beach this,
Yeah.
beach that. Got to get the beach to, you know.
This one had
So-
both. Girl Happy is a beach movie.
Okay. Well, yeah. They
Yeah.
called them beach movies.
Well, it was kind of. I guess he played a fisherman or something like that. And, oh my
Doesn't
God!
matter. Elvis.
There was one movie where they had a boating accident. Remember I described this thing a while back.
Yeah,
There was a boat chase at the end, and they were
the end of the movies.
attempting to cut the boat off. Now that's never a good idea. And for some reason, you could see that the boat got swamped and hit by the other boat. I mean, this looked like a killer to me. And then it cuts away, and then you see them again, kind of, you know, racing each other.
Yeah.
And you know that there was a major accident.
Something happened really bad. Yeah.
Ann and I our jaws dropped because we thought, did we just see that? Oh man.
You got to have an Elvis movie festival or something.
Yeah.
You know.
They had all the Elvis movies, almost all of them on Prime at one time, and we just went through all of them, and it was just, we really kind of
How
missed
many are
Elvis,
there?
Elvis night. We did that every
God.
night.
I don't know.
Are there
Well, I don't
more?
know.
Are there more Elvis movies than Marvel movies?
I'd say no.
Maybe.
Wow.
Well, look,
There's like
look up-
25 plus Marvel movies out there.
Well, we could have called it the Elvis universe.
The Elvis Cinematic Universe, yeah.
All right, well, let's dust off the history book and open it up there.
All
Sam.
right, that's got a lot of dust on here.
No.
We've been using the digital version.
No.
Oh, Sam. Oh, you gonna be okay, buddy?
Good gravy.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe we should just leave the book closed next time and
Yeah.
just skip this whole.
God, yeah.
it sounds unhealthy to you. So.
By the way, it says there's 31 feature films
Oh.
out by
Jeez.
Elvis.
Wow.
Yeah, as a feature actor.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
That's
there
like-
you have it. That's a lot.
That is a lot, yeah. Let's see. What do we have in the history book for today? Today, in 1849, Elizabeth Blackwell became the first woman to receive a medical degree.
Wow.
When was that?
1849.
Okay.
Today, jumping forward a whole century. Today, 1957, Wham-O, the toy company, they introduced the Frisbee.
Incredible.
That was really something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You guys had a Frisbee when you were
Oh,
little?
yeah.
Oh, sure.
Definitely.
Everybody got them.
Yeah. Very fancy.
Yeah.
They had lighted ones.
What makes a
glow in the
Frisbee
dark.
fancy?
Well, lighted. You know, I mean, you spin it and it had little lights in it.
Whoa.
They
Didn't
had
they have one that whistled or something?
whistled.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That was fun. You could hear that thing going
Play it
across.
in the dark.
Yeah.
They had some that
The
glowed in the dark. Yeah.
The glow in the dark ones were cool.
Yeah. Modeled after pie containers.
Yeah, like a pie tin, yeah.
Frisbee,
Yeah.
I think, was originally a pie company or something.
I forget what the
pie tins. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what the stupidest thing I've used as a frisbee is, because like you get a disc and you spin it, it'll fly through the air.
Yeah.
I think I've used a trash can lid before as a frisbee, like a big 2-foot wide one.
Never tried that.
Yeah.
That would be a surprise for the receiver out there.
We should try launching some frisbees off the roof here.
We're in the middle of the city. There's streets all around us with cars. That's gonna
people chasing after.
It's gonna cause an accident.
Not this hour of the
into
day.
the middle of the road.
There's hardly any cars down here.
Well, so State Street is like slightly sloped, right? How hard do you think you need to throw a frisbee in order to get it all the way from the Capitol down to the campus?
Oh, I don't think that would be possible.
Well, there it is.
Hey,
There's a challenge right there.
Anything is possible with the right mindset, Gordy.
All right.
Okay, Sam.
What else do we got? Today in 1964. I'm just a joke to you, aren't I?
Here.
He's got
I got to
the
adjust
special.
my glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the John and Gordy signal right there.
Yeah.
What else happened
Today
on this
in
date?
1964, we amended the Constitution. The 24th Amendment was ratified on that day.
Oh, that was a big one. Yeah.
Sort of big one. Not that big.
It abolished
it was
poll taxes.
abolished poll taxes, yeah. Crazy concept. I wouldn't put it past Trump and Project 2025 to try and bring those back.
Right, with an
Always trying to
executive
make a
order.
buck.
Yeah. Repeal it with an executive order. Yeah, try that.
Don't give him any ideas.
Well, he's trying it with the 14th Amendment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last thing I got on the list today, in 1986, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inducted their first 10 members. I didn't put all of them on here, but a few of them. Chuck Berry, Elvis, that's why we played Elvis. Ray Charles, Jerry Lee Lewis, and a few others.
All right.
Okay. Any birthdays today of note?
It's John Hancock's birthday. Mr. Signature.
Autograph.
Yeah.
Well, that's what day is it? It's
What
handwriting
year?
day.
What?
It is handwriting day.
Maybe that's why. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I didn't even look that up. Oh, well. Okay.
It's okay. It's
see.
okay. Don't sweat it, man.
No,
Take it easy.
I just wonder if
Take
that's
it
why
easy.
they...
about?
He's collapsing.
I don't see it there. Okay. Never mind.
Okay.
Coming up a little bit later on, we're going to give away Boys to Men tickets. We've got another pair to give away today and tomorrow. And you know what? The Oscar nominations come out later this morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'll be fun to see.
Yeah.
How many movies did you see?
Yeah, not too
I
many.
didn't see that many either. BustED Pencils will make an appearance this morning as well.
Yeah.
Dr. Tim Slekar.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking about AI in schools.
Yeah.
They have a guest who will be talking about that as well.
In fact, that's coming up next after the Midwest Farm Report here on John and Gordy in the Morning.
I said, goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Great balls of fire.
Well, we've got the John and Gordy balls. We still haven't done anything with those.
I know.
That was a great plan.
I don't want to hear about your balls.
What's that?
Yeah, that's the kind of feeling people gave us about that. Yeah.
Get let into the room, and I hear you guys talking about your balls.
Yes.
We were talking about The term balling.
Remember, way back in the 50s and 60s, it was a term for screwing. Remember, balling, right?
Might be before Tim's time.
That's before my time, but
Oh, it is. Okay, now you know.
Wow.
When you hear it in an old song, that's what they're talking about.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some terms just don't last.
No.
Oh man.
So what do we got?
Yeah,
on the
I know that you
agenda
have Heidi as a guest, and she's a Canadian, right? And she's got I Think, a company, and they have challenge kits. What did you call those kits? Something for the kids.
What?
I don't know. There was a term that she used, kind of a motivational term for kids that use this.
I don't know.
I can't remember now. Anyway, and let's see here. Do you have any idea what you're going to talk about on Saturday?
Yeah, we interviewed these two women sisters who have actually a startup AI company. And maybe we could put this in the same thing with Heidi, which is, we've been talking in one way. There's this concept, or the idea of AI, and is it a hype and all this? And the reality here is trying to get to understand it, and that's what Heidi's really doing. It's not ed tech for ed tech. They're teaching the kids the ethics about AI, when you use it, when you shouldn't use it. Really, because it's coming forward here. And so we were talking to, we actually recorded the show last night with Myra and Leah, and their tech, and what they end up doing though is that they're teaching people about what are the conflicts when you're using a technology such as AI. The reality is that it's a big suck on the environment for right now because of the amount of power consumption it takes up. And so those are things that when you're teaching, you start to teach kids that, or anybody, that there are these kind of trade-offs. And so what we've been doing with this is trying to say that we're not pitching or saying AI is this or a tool we're trying to sell you, as much as we're now trying to start saying, like, this is a serious issue that really requires a lot of teaching and learning.
20
All
seconds.
right. Sounds good. Yeah, we'll get into that then. Okay.
Up in the morning and out to school. The teacher is teaching the golden rule. American history and practical math. You study them hard and hoping to pass. Working your fingers right down to the bone.
92.7
The guy behind you don't need you
WMDX, John and Gordy in the morning. We're talking school. BustED Pencils, our guest. Dr. Tim Slekar with us. And we've been on AI for a long time. We seem to bring it up into the discussions constantly here. And I think it's because, it's so new and it's getting into the schools system.
Yes.
And students are using it at home.
Right.
So there's some way we have to kind of head off a few things at the pass here before it gets deeply ingrained and it becomes abused.
Right.
And can become abused. And I think that's kind of what we're doing right now, right? In education.
Well, we should be. That's
okay.
That's the issue here is that what is it that we're doing with students intentionally versus the realities of potentially saying, the kind of gut reaction that you hear from some people, which is, I just don't allow the students to use it. That's it. There's just they're not allowed. And then put their phones away. No technology. we're going to take away their landlines at home. We're going to take away TV and everything because they need to be focused specifically on listening to me stand up here and drone on.
Right. Sounds bad.
Yeah.
sounds like school's old.
It's school. But I mean, it as you say, it's really new, and even that concept of it's really new is to recognize that there's actually a pretty interesting and long history that has gotten us to this point of where we think generative AI is just this new cool thing, when the reality is that computer scientists have been working on this concept from the early days in the 50s. Machine learning was what they call that, trying to teach computers to predict what's next. That's been happening for the longest time. So this concept of artificial intelligence actually has a pretty significant history there. And so when you're using ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whatever it is that you're using, do you have any concept of how this system that you're using now came to be, where it came from? So there's something that we could be easily teaching about. And so we've been talking a lot about that on Busted Pencils. Let me frame it this way too. We caught a little bit of flack from some of our regular listeners because we had a couple people on, one from the Khan Academy, and I think even we talked about Tim from Super Teacher, and we had a couple people saying, "Hey, why are you having these AI tech guys coming on and trying to sell us crap?"
Well, that's an approach. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I guess they could be selling this in a way.
Yeah,
promoting it.
And it's like the last thing teachers need to hear about is somebody else trying to tell them that if they just buy their product, this will make them a better teacher and kids will learn. And we're like, I guess there was some grain of truth to that by having guests on like that. So what we really tried to do here, and so our episode that dropped yesterday with Heidi Seawack from Canada, her movement up there is that she works for a company called I Think, and they are putting together really in-depth interdisciplinary, what they call challenge kits. And she is now currently promoting, and again, this is when you say promoting, she's not selling but promoting. The teachers can sign up to be a part of this group where they're doing an AI challenge over the next couple months, which it is a designed curriculum not to promote a tool, not to promote a technology to buy, but to put together a curriculum that allows teachers and students and families together to dig deep into this concept about artificial intelligence. When do we use it? What could we use it for? What are the implications? What is this whole worry that we're having about with deep fakes and things like that? What are the societal implications of artificial intelligence? And so that really is this idea. And so maybe you've heard the term AI literacy. So what does it mean to really deeply understand this tool? And even the word tool now, we're starting to kind of say, tool maybe is kind of even limiting it, because it opens up all kinds of implications. So one very quickly that we talked about is that in a climate change, environmental disasters, global warming, whatever you want to call it, here's a technology, and you've heard some people saying, "Hey, thank goodness for this intelligence. We might now be able to use it to help us solve the climate crisis."
Yes.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And so you can run with that and be like, okay, we're going to use AI. And every time you go into ChatGPT and do a little query or a search or a prompt, do you know how much energy and electricity is required for you to say, "Hey, Claude, tell me a bedtime story"? And
so the servers are working overtime.
Oh yeah, I mean, the energy consumption for doing this is just beyond. It's almost incomprehensible. And so you start thinking about going, and so those are things that we should be teaching.
Right.
Put that out there, and it doesn't say it's neither good or bad. And in fact, last Saturday we had another Canadian, Jason Bucheri, kind of talking about this and saying, actually, when we're approaching education technology and AI specifically, we shouldn't be starting from is it good, is it bad?
Mm-hmm.
It is. And what is it?
Yeah.
So Gordy, you're
Truly
looking at
the basics.
yeah. Well, because if we position ourselves as I'm for it, I'm against it, it becomes almost comical in that that's really not the issue here. It's what is it?
Yeah. Well, Tim, we were talking to a guest the other day, Mike McCabe, and he does a Substack blog there, and great guy. But we were also talking about putting the guardrails in for some of this new technology, like they should have done for the internet in the first place.
Right.
Maybe there should be some kind of guardrails put in by the government in order to make sure that this serves the public as opposed to being used against the public.
Yes. But I don't know. I'm sure that that's some kind of violation of my free speech nowadays.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
But how do we put guardrails on AI, or do we need to?
Yeah, I think but I think somewhere along the way we could. We just don't understand it yet. We really don't have a grasp of this. And by the way, I listened to your podcast with Heidi, and it seemed like a very positive program. I think it looked at the positive effects of AI and what you can do with it than it had, being wary of it.
Yeah, and I think maybe too that was what we framed more the podcast from that standpoint, was much more positive. Now we do have a show coming out on Saturday, our Saturday show that'll drop with some pretty interesting guests, and I see we're kind of up on the time there, so maybe we can talk about that. Or
No,
we're okay. I just want to mention
Gordy wants to.
We're talking with Dr. Tim Slekar. If you'd like to make a comment, or if you have a question, you can call us at 608-879-8255. Talk about AI. It occurs to me now. I assume, and it's been a long time since I've been in a high school, but do high schools still have guidance counselors?
Yes.
It would seem like AI would be a really great tool for them, because they're trying to track all these students and what their career path might be in the future, or, how their education's going so far, and kind of point them in different directions. Would AI be helpful to them?
Yes.
To track all this stuff?
I mean, Gordy, what you just said is one of the ways to really talk about it. It's like, what can you now do with data, right? And so a guidance counselor looking at all of the options that are out there, you put all those into a spreadsheet, the students' grades, put that together, and then this is when ask AI, say, based on what we know about Gordy and everything he's taken, and based on what we know about the job market today, and the fact that he said he wants to live here, what should Gordy do for the rest of his life?
Send him to broadcast school. He's worthless. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, it seems like that would be, at least helpful to the conversation.
It's incredibly helpful. In fact, I've been doing some work looking at enrollment trends at higher education, so what majors students are moving into, what majors are students moving out of. And I have this really big data set that looks at, 90 majors over the course of the last 5 years, and I just popped that into chat and then made a little question. I said, what is the most interesting data analysis fact that could be told to a college president that would make them think that I'm the most intelligent data miner? and people are laughing, but those are the types of prompts you need to do. And it came back, and it was like, here are some pretty interesting unorthodox findings that this data tells us, Tim. And it really pointed out that there was a collapse actually in public health and nursing. And then it realized too, going back out to other big data sets, saying like if this trend continues, this is a really bad situation for society to have public health and nursing to actually turn into, a dying profession when people are dying and need public health and nurse people.
That's true.
So I mean, there's so much there to talk about, and I think that we've gotten too much on. Well, the kids are going to use it for cheating, and darn it, I'm just not going to allow that.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? They already are using it for cheating, and so you not allowing it, you're too late.
So try to teach a little ethics.
Well, what does it mean to ethically use this technology? When do you not use it? When is a student using it? Yes, because guess what? Right now, it will actually write a C+ or B- type of term paper for you without putting in much effort. But if you teach students the fact that actually this is a way of helping us organize our thoughts before we dig into writing, then you're starting to show them how we can ethically use AI so that they can actually use it to learn more as opposed to be lazy and do less.
Right. Well, you've got guests on this Saturday. They're a startup company, a startup AI company. And what is that discussion about?
Yeah, so Leah and Myra, they're two sisters, and they're Latino women, Puerto Rican, and they started up a company called Undesto AI. And Myra, the older sister, there's 20 years difference between the two sisters. Which is part of the and first of all, listen to the show because they're awesome. They're so fun to talk to. But Myra, who had spent good 25 years in tech and AI, and in fact, her last big gig was working 7 years at Amazon as a software engineer. They came up with this idea of saying like, hey, AI is here. And if you're a business and if you've already started using AI, you might want to talk to us because you might not really be using it in the way that is helpful to your company. And then we started talking about saying, so it sounds to me like you guys are teaching AI.
Yes.
And they were like, they were like, that's exactly why we put this company together is because we need to go out and help people understand how to use this.
All right. We'll get into more of that in just a few moments.
We'll be back with Dr. Tim Slekar from BustED Pencils in just a moment. I'm going to ask him about substitute teachers, if they could use AI. I'll bet they could. Who was that? Was that the Benchers?
I think it's off Universal, but
it is?
it's a chunk of the song that I don't know if I've played before.
I got to do a Verlo before I forget.
We've got a text from John and Madison. I'm curious, can Tim recite a poem from memory? I have yet to meet a kid who can in the last 10 years. AI writes bad poems.
Interesting, weird comment. Okay.
Yeah.
I
probably listened to a couple of AI songs that we put together here, and they were really bad.
Yeah.
Well, I can recite Humpty Dumpty.
I couldn't even do that anymore.
Yeah,
I was a kid. Go ahead, Tim.
No, Sam, go.
When I was a kid, we were like learning poetry. Yeah. I hated it.
Right.
But I mean, now I've like come to appreciate it, but I don't really write or read it much. But
I'm not sure that walking around in society with memorized poems in your head says anything. Might say something potentially like, "Why are you so weird?"
Poetry gets a bad name these days. It doesn't have a good PR.
The thing that turned me off to poetry was the poetry that didn't rhyme.
Yeah,
I had a hard time with that.
Like, wait a minute, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can write 5-word sentences and put them in an alignment and have them not rhyme.
We've got another good text here. We can read it on the air.
That's exactly what I thought.
We're coming in.
Poetry
20
turned
seconds.
into rap.
Yeah, well, all music is any lyrical music has poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah, digging it.
You don't care for me, I don't care about that. You got a new fool, I'd like to laugh at. I have only one burning desire. Let me stand next to your fire.
Oh, yeah. 92.7 WMDX. John and Gordy in the morning.
And this portion of the John and Gordy Morning Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress. Sleep better, dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress. Check them out on Madison's east side or west side, or just go online at verlo.com. We're talking to Dr. Tim Slekar from BustED Pencils. You can call us, join the conversation at 608-879-8255. Tim, I wanted to ask you about AI and substitute teachers. You know, It always seems like there is a lack of substitute teachers in all school districts. I don't know if that's the case, but
it is.
It would seem like that would be really helpful for substitute teachers that are just coming in cold into a classroom and have no idea, you know, maybe what's going on, or if the teachers left them any notes about what to talk about. So could that be the case?
Well, I when you said that, I was thinking like, okay, you want to deal with the substitute teacher shortage? We can have AI waiting there in the morning for the kids.
That's what I'm thinking. One of those robots with an AI face, you know?
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be a challenge to the little troublemakers in the back of the row and, you know, mess with the machinery?
AI has vision now, so it can see you back. It can see you back there not paying attention.
Well, you know,
send out shockwaves.
A lot of these kids would probably have already seen Terminator, so you know, having a robot in your front of the class,
right?
Yeah, actually, you could show a scene of, you know, one of the you know, Terminators, you know, ripping apart a human and be like, okay, this is your teacher for the day.
Wow.
No, but yeah, think about that as you're coming into, you know, and you're more talking about, Gordy, almost like using AI as like a tool. And so a substitute teacher comes in, you know, lays out, I type in some type of a prompt, you know, I'm here substitute teaching for 6th graders. You know, there's some brief notes the teacher left me about, you know, English conjunction teaching, you know, history of the Civil War, you know, help me plan out my day so that I can make this an interesting learning situation for the kids all day. What a great, you know, and you sit there and look at that. In fact, any teacher, we talk about this now too, is you come up with a great idea, put it together, a lesson that you're thinking of doing, and then throw it into AI and say, hey, what are some things I'm not thinking about that might be more interesting for some of the students? What are some interesting facts that I can throw into here? What do I do when I'm presenting this? And yeah, John and Gordy are going to sit back there drawing stick figures and making pictures that make it, you know, you could throw that in there, and it's really cool and it's really interesting. So there's a lot there.
There is. Yeah, I was thinking, we were talking a few weeks ago about online learning, which is a disaster and has proven to be a failure, using the camera on their computers in order to interpret what they're learning, what they're interested in, what they're not interested in. We were talking about that. But the concept, all of a sudden I thought, wait a minute, what if every desk in a classroom now had a camera on it? And could interpret the interest level of the individual, whether they're strong in a subject or weak in a subject, you know, some participation, all of that can be interpreted. And cameras would be now on every student's desk to help the teacher figure out what their strengths are.
Yeah, I got a problem with that one because
sounds like Big Brother to me.
I just know that,
know.
like when I'm picking my nose, I usually, behind my book, I feel like I'm usually not being seen doing that. And then when I go
So,
to,
so that's your objection?
We got a couple of texts in here. This one is referring to AI, and this is it's 608. This is nothing new. I remember college in the 80s, and they wouldn't let us use word processors for fear that the computer would write the paper.
Or calculators. They wouldn't let you use calculators
Well, that's
either.
right. Yeah, they wouldn't.
So, yeah. See how that turned out.
Mm-hmm. And I guess that's it on the text right now. Right? Did I miss-
well, yeah, I fear. There's actually something to put in there. It's just the fear, So when typically somebody says you can't do that, that is that person saying, I'm frightened and I don't know what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
So hey, but yeah, so Saturday, I mean, Myra and Leah just really kind of had great conversation about, what is this AI? What are we supposed to do? And Leah is an AI ethicist, which is, really talking about interesting concepts, and really she went into a part of really pointing out that, especially in this time of where AI can do what they call the deep fakes, create, take your image and somebody can now take a picture of you and then put it into AI and then create like an avatar that looks and sounds just like you. And so, there are real ethical issues here on a tool like that is so powerful.
Yeah.
And recognizing that. And so we really have made this point to say that when we are going to talk about AI more on Busted Pencils, we're trying to bring in people who can really help Johnny and me learn more about AI from experts who really understand AI. So, and the biggest thing that why we're doing this, because, hey, what are we, 1 week into president disaster? But $500 billion investment in AI infrastructure, though, in that announcement, that is really going to be, it's going to be a game changer.
Okay.
All right.
Got to leave it there. That's Dr. Tim Slekar. They have new BustED Pencils podcasts that drop on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Also, they're live every Saturday on the Civic Media Radio Network. Thank you, Tim. Talk to you next time.
All right.
And coming up right around the corner in our 7 o'clock hour, Boys to Men tickets. You could win them. Coming up next.
It's the John and Gordy Show.
All right, Tim.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Tim. Great.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
That was a big, I was going to bring that up, and I forgot all about it. The $500 billion investment in it. Yeah.
And I asked Leah and Myra about that last night. I said, and they're not fans of this administration at all. And they said, though, that this is so significant that it is going to, they're like, it is going to accelerate drastically the improvements and that next level step of going, what is artificial general intelligence? And then the concept of super intelligence. And we really got into this because right now what we're using, as they said, we're using narrow artificial intelligence.
Oh, okay.
So even that concept, but that's a whole interesting conversation in and of itself, is what is narrow AI, what is general intelligence AI, and what is super intelligence AI.
Yeah.
So,
one of the biggest worries I have is $500 billion from an administration that wants to be a dictator, putting AI into effect.
Well,
on
then
their
Elon,
watch.
did you hear Elon Musk says they don't have the money?
Yeah.
He and Trump got into it, I guess.
That's
and
right.
Trump said, well, no, we have the money. And then Elon's saying, no, they don't have money to do this.
Because Elon hates Sam Altman from OpenAI.
Oh, okay. All
yeah,
right.
That's really what it is. It's a bro issue,
Really?
Whose balls are bigger.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks.
All right, thanks, Tim.
See ya.
The John and Gordy Morning Show is on the air. Phone lines are open at 608-879-8255. 608-879-TALK. You can also call or text the guys on the free Civic Media app. Now, here they are, live from our studios on State Street in Madison, Wisconsin, John and Gordy.
Media World intro yet on Facebook?
Yet.
Okay. All right.
We're going to get to that.
We found that.
Yeah.
And we're going to post it.
From the cable days?
Yes. The old cable access days. Yes.
Ah, it's pretty cool.
Fancy production.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, it's a big production. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think people will like that.
Hey, it is a little bit after 7 o'clock weather-wise today. No big concerns. It's 10 degrees, expecting a high near 15. A lot of sunshine today. It's nice and clear this morning.
It's clear.
Traffic is moving along smoothly in the State Street area of downtown. Nothing's going on.
Don't go anywhere because you won't believe the stories that we have lined up today.
Yes.
Oh, God.
But first, hey, we've got a pair of tickets to give away to Boys to Men.
Yep.
They're coming to the Wisconsin State Fair this August for a night of harmonious R&B, John.
Ooh.
Hear classics like On Bended Knee.
Oh,
you
man.
remember that one, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you remember
We
that.
play it every Christmas.
How about Doing Just Fine? That's another one of their big songs.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. My phone just...
It did.
Is that my
What
phone?
happened?
Is somebody calling you? No,
No.
this is a song by them.
Oh,
You thought it was coming from
I thought
your
it was
phone?
coming from my phone. That's
Well,
funny.
you're always listening to Boys to Men anyway.
Yes, I am. You can get tickets to them at wistatefair.com. That's wistatefair.com. But you could win a pair of tickets right now if you text us the keyword. And what is the keyword this time around, Sam?
Philly.
What is it?
Philly.
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 Philly. So you just text Philly to on the Civic Media app. Text this to us there. God, I can't talk today. 608-879-8255 is our text number, but just use the Civic Media app. That's the easy way to do it. Philly. Text it to us, and we'll give away those tickets in the next 20 minutes. All right?
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Over to you, John Peterson.
All right.
What's the big story?
Well, the big story was that Trump appeared with Hannity.
Oh, are we going to talk about Trump again? Oh, Christ.
And I don't have a clip.
Oh,
I know
good.
you like to hear the sound of his voice, the cadence, but
He was with his pal Sean Hannity.
yeah,
Huh? Just
yeah.
hanging out in the Oval Office?
Yeah, this happened. I don't have clips, so
Okay.
we'll just have to take a look at what he said. You know, he
could
he talked
imagine
about
it, yeah.
President Biden getting bad advice, just bad advice. This is a quote. This guy went around giving everybody pardons, and you know the funny thing, maybe the sad thing is, he didn't give himself a pardon, and if you look at it, it all had to do with him.
is
So
he
somewhere
saying?
along the way, I think they're going to start investigating Biden. You know, well, they got to keep somebody busy, and you know, Kash Patel's the perfect guy to do it. Guy writes
Oh,
children's
boy.
books.
Yeah, great.
And
Yikes.
he says that Joe Biden had very bad advisors. Somebody advised Joe Biden to give pardons to everybody but him. Oh, boy, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, Trump didn't give himself a pardon when he left office.
Well, that's true. He did.
Because he didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, this guy is crazy. Okay. We have Courier News that we look at every once in a while. They gave us great summations of Project 2025, if you remember way back when.
Yeah.
Well, they've got another one, and it is the first 3 days look at broken promises by Trump. All right. And I think this is a fantastic list from Alan Piper. He's the narrator. Let's check this out.
Okay.
Trump broke a ton of promises on his first day in office. There was a lot he said he'd do on day one.
Starting on day one, my first day in office.
A lot of Trump's day one promises were illegal. Many were impossible. Most of them he broke. Let's review. Number 1, Trump promised he'd begin lowering prices of groceries and everything else on day 1.
Prices will come down dramatically and come down fast.
But after his election, he started backing away from that. Talking to Time magazine about grocery prices, he said, quote, "I'd like to bring them down. It's hard to bring things down once they're up. You know, it's very hard." And nothing Trump did on his first day could conceivably lower prices. The best he could do was a meaningless directive to every department to see if they could come up with ideas to lower prices. Not only that, Trump moved to raise prescription drug prices by rescinding a Biden order to lower them. Promise broken. Number 2, Trump said he'd end the war in Ukraine on day 1. Another broken promise. Number 3, Trump said on day 1 he'd end Biden's
insane electric vehicle mandate.
There was no Biden electric vehicle mandate, so he couldn't and didn't end it. Number 4, Trump said he'd override the Constitution to end birthright citizenship on day 1.
Birthright. That's a big one.
But regardless of his executive order, the president has no power to do that. Number 5.
On day 1, we're going to stop the transgender lunacy.
Trump did sign an executive order denying the existence of trans and non-binary people. However, no matter what Trump does to demean and endanger trans people, they will exist. He cannot will them away. Number 6. Trump said on day 1 he'd ban trans people from schools and from sports. He does not have the power to do that. Number 7, Trump promised to ban CRT from the military. CRT usually stands for critical race theory, which is a college-level academic concept. It's not part of military training, so Trump could not ban it. The military does do combat readiness training, so it's possible Trump got confused by that CRT. Fortunately, he did not ban that either. Number 8, Trump said he'd end America's opioid epidemic.
I will take action on day 1 to end this horrific plague and save American lives.
We're still waiting. Number 9, Trump said on day 1 he'd put a 25% tariff on all goods imported from Mexico and Canada, our 2 biggest trading partners. It is a good thing he broke that promise because U.S. tariffs are paid by Americans, not the other country. So this would have made Americans pay a whole lot more for a wide range of goods. However, he's now threatening to impose them on February 1st. Number 10.
I will send Congress a bill to ban sanctuary cities in the first day that I become president.
Trump did not send Congress any bills on his first day. Another broken promise. Number 11.
I'm going to terminate these Green New Deal atrocities on day 1.
America never adopted the Green New Deal, so Trump couldn't terminate it. So that's another broken promise. Number 12.
My first day in office, there'll be no more persecutions of Catholics or anybody else.
Another thing Trump couldn't stop because it wasn't actually happening. Unless maybe he's talking specifically about Republicans going after the Bidens, which he didn't do anything to stop either. Number 13.
I will sign executive orders to end child sexual mutilation.
Trump has falsely claimed schools are performing sexual reassignment surgery on children. They are not. Trump can't end a thing that isn't happening in the first place. Number 14. Trump said he'd bring back energy independence on day 1. But U.S. energy production was already at an all-time high under President Biden. Number 15. Trump said he'd cut funding to all schools that have vaccine mandates on day 1. It's a good thing he broke that promise too, since that's likely all public schools, which is why we don't have widespread child death from measles or polio anymore. Number 16. Trump promised on day 1 to pardon the violent criminals who brutalized Capitol Police on January 6th. Sadly, that's one promise he kept. Number 17. Trump promised to bring back his Muslim ban on day 1. Fortunately, he has not. Yet. Number 18. Trump promised to release his full list of potential Supreme Court nominations on day 1, but he did not. Promise broken. There are dozens of other things that Trump promised to do on his first day. He accomplished few of them. I'm Alan Piper at apiper13. Follow Courier Newsroom to stay on top of what this administration does and does not do.
All right. So there it is. If you want to check that out, go to
Courier
News.
Yeah, they got
Ellen
it there.
Piper is the narrator. Does a great job with that. Now,
How many total was that? How many total promises did he make?
I don't know, about 20, 25. But anyway, let's get to the next one here, and it's billionaire oligarch Jamie Dimon. He's made some nasty comments in the past, so he's got one for us today, and this is on Trump tariffs. Let's listen to Cut 119.
Yeah, look, I look at tariffs, they are an economic tool. That's it. They're an economic weapon, depending how you use it and why you use it and stuff like that. And, people argue, is it inflationary and non-inflationary? I would put in perspective, if it's a little inflationary, but it's good for national security, so be it. I mean, get over it.
There you go. So, a little inflation, get over it.
Okay.
We didn't hear that during the election, did we?
No, we didn't hear that.
It wasn't
during
quite
the campaigns. No.
The billionaires, they can handle a little extra cost.
Yeah, a little inflation.
But not us. Not us. No. All right. Well, let's get into Jordan Klepper.
Yeah, I think we got time for it.
All right. Let's play Jordan Klepper, and he talks about the pardons. Are they okay? Well, let's check it out.
There were 2.1 million people there. They didn't all storm the Capitol. None of them were armed.
Well, some were armed.
Who?
This guy with a gun outside the Capitol. Should he be pardoned?
Did he shoot the gun? Is that a real gun or is that a fake gun?
He shot the gun up in the air. Yes.
Yes.
He should be pardoned.
Yes.
Because?
Yeah, I think he should be pardoned.
Why?
Because I don't think he should be, I think he should be pardoned. Yeah, absolutely.
What about this guy spraying a bear spray at the police officer?
Self-defense.
That's so pardon?
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Oh.
Was that from the same day?
Yeah, that's January 6th. The most photographed crime in human history.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you can show me 8 million more. I'm pro-pardon.
Wow.
Where was this at?
This was outside the Capitol.
January 6th?
Yeah. You've not seen this image?
No, I have not seen that.
You seen any of these images?
Some of them, but not these.
Really?
Maybe the media that I'm following is not showing these.
What?
It could be.
It could be. What media did you follow?
All conservative.
Did you watch the January 6th hearings?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay. So this is new.
So that's my fault. I should have been better informed. Yes.
I will say that's a refreshing thing to hear.
It is a refreshing thing to hear, shockingly.
That's Jordan Klepper from Daily Show.
Yeah.
Those clips there, yeah.
He's always out there doing this stuff, and he's the best at it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Still a chance to get in on the Boys to Men tickets. The key word is Philly. We're getting some texts in here.
Yeah.
We'll get to those.
We'll get to Gary in just a moment.
Just a moment on John and Gordy in the morning. Shannon on a Thursday morning. Welcome back to John and Gordy in the morning. This portion of the John and Gordy Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress, where you can sleep better and dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress. Check them out on Madison's east side or west side, or just go to verlo.com.
It's John and Gordy Farm Report.
That's it. All country, all the time. 21 past the hour, Johnny.
All right, I'll take it from
I
here.
wouldn't even call that song a country song exactly.
Really?
Oh, it is.
Why wouldn't you? That's eastbound and down.
Yeah.
And trucking.
Yeah.
Who was that? Who performed that?
Gary texted us. He said, if you guys overplay Trump crap, I will lower my volume dial even more, reducing my listening time. You don't want that to happen, Gary. You know,
John, you are single-handedly costing this station money.
Well, I try not to play a lot of Trump now.
We're going to dial it back a little bit.
Yeah. We're going to dial it back. Yeah. You know, like I quoted Trump. I didn't even have to play something from him. I saved you that. And we played Jamie Dimon, you know, somebody else, not Trump.
Okay.
Somebody else, not Trump. That's our slogan
and Jordan
here.
Klepper, yeah. So weather today, it's a chilly start, but really not too bad today. It'll get a high of 15, and then the warm-up begins over the next few days.
Yeah.
Brittany Merlot is off on vacation. She's down in Florida, living it up down there, you know, out in the sunshine. Nice temperatures.
Yeah, nice time to take
the snow is all melted in Florida.
Great.
She'll be back in a few days.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. The former Chief Justice for the U.S. District Court in D.C., you know, he dismissed the January 6th assault charges for a few people out there. And the twist on that is that he did it without prejudice. With prejudice, rather.
With prejudice.
So that means that these cases can be reopened.
Right.
At a later time. So, there's a trick there.
Okay.
So that, you know, there's always good news someplace to be found, right?
Sure.
All right. So,
well, thanks for sharing that.
There's an article that says, in a flurry of activity that is happening almost too swift to follow, Trump is giving his critics every reason to think their worst fears for his new presidency will be realized and worse. Now, we were talking about this before we went on the air today, right?
Yeah.
This guy is going to be 82 when he gets out of office, probably won't run, but who knows? He might feel energetic enough to run again. But the thing
this is his second term.
This is his last hurrah, basically.
Right.
And nothing matters. He can do anything he wants. The Supreme Court gave him that power, right? So I'm just thinking, he can do everything and anything and get away with it, and people can challenge him all they want, but nothing will change. Nothing can happen. And his reference to Biden should have, given himself a pardon.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it, Donald. The Supreme Court gave him the power too, you know? So he can do anything he wants, and he doesn't have to worry about anything. So go ahead, try to prosecute him for something.
He's trying to make these first 100 days, get all this stuff out there, just continually, just flood it, just a fire hose of activity, and then he's just going to go golfing for the next 3 years. That's my prediction.
I think he's going to start going golfing now.
Think so?
Yeah. How about this? This is an amazing comment. He talked about this, by the way, on Hannity. This is Trump saying that the states, not FEMA, should mostly take care of their problems, their natural disasters. And this is cut 124. Let's listen to this here.
With FEMA is so bad. FEMA is a whole nother discussion because all it does is complicate everything. FEMA has not done their job for the last 4 years. I had FEMA working really well. We had hurricanes in Florida. We had Alabama tornadoes. But unless you have certain types of leadership, it gets in the way. And FEMA is going to be a whole big discussion very shortly because I'd rather see the states take care of their own problems. If they have a tornado someplace, and let that state. Oklahoma is very competent. I love Oklahoma. 77 out of 77 districts. And that's
Republican,
never
all
been done.
Republican. That's why he said that. Those numbers, they're all Republican.
Yeah.
And that's why they're a great state. Okay. No, he's
And
not.
they can just all take care of themselves.
Yeah.
All the states.
Yeah.
Why do they need FEMA at all?
Yeah, and they'll backfill with a little federal money if they need it. But yeah, FEMA, we don't need that anymore. He's already suggested that. So that can't be a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing. And, this mass deportation thing that they're talking about doing and, they're setting in motion. Trump said that we actually need to bring in more foreign workers. Even though they're doing this, they have to bring in more foreign workers who are maitre d's, wine experts, and high-quality waiters. The billionaire class is truly taking over this administration. Cut 114 is the track I want to play this time around.
High-quality waiters.
Yes.
Okay.
Listen to this.
The program very well. I use the program. Maitre d's, wine, experts, even waiters, high quality waiters. You got to get the best people.
There it is, the H-1B visas that he's so hot on. He loves those things.
He's got his priorities.
I would think so, yeah. Now, the other day it was Bishop Bundy, right?
Yes, right.
She came out and gave Trump a little advice at the inauguration.
Yeah, the national.
Well, that didn't go over well on the
cathedral.
right. The
No, it
Magas
didn't.
did not like that. Newsmax host Carl Higbee threatened the Pope. Why don't we check out this? Is cut 123.
I hate to break it to you, John. I don't think we have time.
Oh. Yeah, that's probably 43 seconds.
You're not squeezing it in. I'm
Okay.
putting the hammer down.
All
boy.
right.
Well, we'll hold on to that.
We'll get to that. We've got time.
You've got 30 more seconds or so to get in your Boys to Men ticket
let's do that.
entry.
Okay. Yes, you can
have
text
a
us the
winner.
word Philly. That's Philly. Philly. Right?
That's right.
Okay, get it into us. You can use your Civic Media app or 608-879-8255. Midwest Farm Report coming up, and then a whole lot more right around the corner.
That's right.
On John and Gordy.
It's the John and Gordy Show.
John and Gordy in the morning.
As we were saying,
Let the sun shine.
it's the John and Gordy Show.
It's John and Gordy in the morning.
And I want to look him straight in the eye, and I want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dip-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey he is. Where's the Tylenol?
We'll be passing a Tylenol at a personal appearance.
That's right.
So...
92.7, it's John and Gordy in the morning. Sam, do we have a winner in our Boys to Men contest for tickets to
but
the
they're a
state
new
fair?
texter, and I haven't gotten their name yet.
Okay. Well,
So,
congratulations to that texter.
From the 262, wherever the 262 area code is.
Yeah. Okay, very good. We'll get those tickets to you. They're digital tickets, and they're not out yet. They'll come in a couple of weeks. Okay.
That's a spam call, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
7:35, weather today, high near 15, sunshine all day. Right now, 11 degrees.
Governor Evers gave the State of the State address last night. It was a fantastic time, had by all.
Looked like they were all having fun there.
Oh, yeah,
it's almost like a party.
According to John, it was a haunted house, right?
Yes, it was the scariest, ghoulish thing I've ever seen.
Well, one side of the aisle.
One side of the aisle just sat there, and I think, personally, and I posted a picture of this, I think they planned on doing this. Sitting there completely immobile. They didn't move. They didn't move an arm. They didn't flinch an eyebrow. They didn't do anything at all. We had these three people behind, Republicans behind Governor Evers, like statues.
Stone-faced.
They did nothing. Nothing at all celebrating the year of the kid. Well, why would you get excited about something like that, right?
Yeah,
goodness sake, spending money on kids?
Yeah.
What? Or maybe even saving kids from school shootings, right? Governor Evers proposed background checks for all firearm purchases, red flag laws that would allow families and law enforcement to remove all firearms from the homes of persons thought to be at risk of using those firearms. And not one movement from the Republican side of the aisle, even for something like that. It gets worse. Governor Evers talked about suicide prevention and mental health. Help for that.
Right.
Pay for that. We've got a huge surplus. They didn't move an inch. The Republicans just sat there immobile, completely, just as they planned it, emotionless. They did nothing at all. They should just be fired for doing that. They did not celebrate one thing that Evers said. How about child care? I mean, it's unaffordable at this point. They could do something about it. Not one movement on that side of the aisle. Prescription drugs? Nope, nothing there. How about some of the national issues that we have to deal with here in the state? Getting money from the federal government. Nothing there for Medicaid. Nothing at all. And then when the Republican rebuttal was presented by Robin Voss.
Yeah, what do you have to say?
Oh, well, he just said, it's the same old thing that Governor Evers has been doing for the last 80 years. The same topics, the same proposals, the same amount of spending. Get off this thing, because it's the right thing to do. I want to know about the Republicans watching the State of the State address.
Right.
Didn't you want some of these things to be taken care of in this state?
You would think so, yes.
You would think that maybe a Republican voter would sit there and say, what, they should be reacting. They should be standing up and applauding this. This sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah.
At least prevent shootings in schools.
Yeah, bipartisan
nothing,
thing.
Nothing there. Nothing. Mental health, nothing there. They want women to bear children. They want to ban abortions, but they don't want to take care of any of these children in single-family homes or pay for their education or supply them with lunch in schools. No applause there. No standing ovations for that from that side of the aisle. It was absolutely depressing. And it made me angry just looking at it. I just want to know what Republican voters who were watching this were thinking. They should have some of these things. People should get some of this stuff. We have $400 billion in surplus. I think $4 billion in surplus. But you know what I'm trying to say here.
Right.
We got a lot of money that's extra. It's not extra in that sense. This is money unspent that we should be spending on our state because we have these huge problems that we have to take care of.
You would think that at least some of the Republicans would applaud.
One or two,
would show
right?
some reaction.
Yes.
Some kind, just anything.
And that was the dead giveaway that they planned this.
Yeah.
Just sit there, do not move.
Don't move.
Don't flinch.
Don't stand up, don't do anything. Don't applaud.
It never occurred to me that the phrase working across the aisle was actually like real.
Real aisle.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
just surprised to see every Republican on the left side and every Democrat on the right side. I don't know if I've seen that before. And it was weird seeing them all just sit together and do nothing like you're saying, John.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was shocking. I pointed to my wife. I pointed out to her. I said, maybe Governor Evers should say something to them.
break the
the
mold.
No, put him on the spot.
Yeah.
Right. Say you don't believe that we should stop shootings in schools. You're not going to applaud that. You don't think we should do something about that.
That would have been interesting to see him.
I
do
know.
that.
I know. He's not that way. He doesn't really confront them that way. He is very specific, and the thing is, he's very sincere about the budgets that he puts together, especially the moment where he was talking about taking care of school shootings,
right?
And some of the suicides that are committed because of the firearm laws that we have, not taking some of these weapons away from people that we know, may use it in a negative way. He was very, very troubled by it. He even broke down during the speech.
Yeah.
So it was an emotional plea that these Republicans just sat there on their hands and did nothing at all. And I'm really angry about it. I was furious.
Hey, man, they like their gun shows,
Man,
have you ever been to a gun show? A good old Wisconsin gun show?
I haven't. I do want to go.
My
go to
dad
one.
has taken me to a few when I was younger.
Yeah.
As a kid, why would you bring your kid to a gun show? That's a
not
weird
good.
concept.
That's not good. So what was your impression of the gun show as a kid?
Well, I was a kid, so I was a little different and didn't really understand quite as many things about the world as I do now. But
you grew up in the out in the country,
sorta,
up
yeah.
north,
Sort of,
out in the country. And was he into hunting?
It wasn't. Yeah, my dad is a big hunter.
Okay,
it wasn't that weird of a place to be for me because we had guns around.
That
the
was
house
a
when I
while
was
ago.
kid.
That's before the gun thing took off. Stand your ground laws.
Sure. Yeah, this was probably 2011 or 12 that I was last at one. And it's just a bunch of people in a big room. It's like a convention center, sort of, with a bunch of tables selling all sorts of firearms.
Like a flea market for guns.
That's
pretty much it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Some people, they just you can like guns all you want, but if you are selling a gun and you don't think about the consequences of what can happen, it is a deadly weapon after all.
Right.
If you sell that gun to the wrong person, then you shouldn't be selling those guns.
Mm-hmm.
You can give us a call, 608-879-8255. Call us or text us there, 879-TALK.
What was your impression? I mean, if you watch the State of the State.
Yeah.
What was your impression of the Republican reaction or non-reaction?
Or lack of reaction.
Yeah, that is just
it's just rude,
it
for
is,
one thing, and just mind-boggling why they would try to do that kind of attack. Were they trying to throw him off his game while he was speaking or something, or trying to just make a statement of some kind?
You would have thrown me off, and again, I would have said something to these guys. I would have just
Try
said,
to break through.
Really, you don't think they need lunch? You don't want to feed the children out there? You really don't care about that, huh? I mean, it just... Yeah. And it would come across like that, and obviously Governor Evers doesn't want to come across like that. But I don't know. I just, it fascinates me how the Republicans can get away with acting like this. So cruel, totally cruel. I had an idea about guns at one time, and I gave up on that idea. But I thought the best way to control guns is to give those people who love guns to collect them and put them in a gun-safe place, like a gun club. And what would happen is there would be gun clubs cropping up all over the place where you could store your collection of guns and shoot them if you want.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just thought that would be the best way to create jobs. It would create new businesses, and you could save your guns at a place that's safe, that no one can take those guns out of your home and use someplace else. It's a safe way to handle gun collections, and people love guns. I understand the gun
collection.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. Let's go to the phones. Catherine is on the line with a comment or a question. Good morning, Catherine.
Oh, for God's sakes, guns, guns, guns. Will you ever get over the whole gun thing, for God's sakes? We've only had one shooting here in Madison at a school. Just relax, John.
I can't relax over guns, that's for sure. I've never been able to understand it.
I was there last night at the State of the State, and I did not expect, as you said, that they would split the room like they do in Washington, because I just thought smaller towns don't do that. But it was fascinating watching them all find their seats. And yes, they never stood, not once, the Republican side. It was very bizarre. But there was also, again, I think these are grown-ups, but one guy sitting there with a giant cowboy hat, giant hat. Even Maggie noticed him and asked me about him. I have no idea who it was.
Was it Jesse James?
He was taking pictures of, maybe. He was taking pictures of the prompter where it said, move through or go through the applause, power through the applause. It actually said that.
Really?
Trying to teach Tony, who's not the most enigmatic speaker. So they're just trying to say, don't wait for it. Do like Obama, power through and get to the real point, right?
Yep.
So this guy in the black hat is turning around, taking pictures and mocking our governor.
Oh, man.
For his, and with a woman, she said, did that say power through?
Wow.
Oh my God. I was like, are you children? We need monitors on you guys.
Yeah, if we knew who that was, we could find out where he was tweeting that, or where he was sending those pictures. I'd like to find that.
Right, I got to figure out.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Catherine. I appreciate the pictures you posted as well.
We have time to get to Matt.
It was fun.
All right.
Thank you, Catherine. Our next caller is here. Matt, go ahead. Good morning. Matt?
Hello?
Hello.
Hi. You're on with us, John and Gordy. Go ahead.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about guns for a minute. Our neighbors in Mexico are very frustrated and angry with us because their violence, their cartels, that's all directly fed by these illegal, gun shows here in the U.S. that give them weapons. But I also wanted to mention that I think people on the left, these moderates like ourselves, we should arm ourselves because we need to be ready when the Trump militia and these brown coats of his start coming around different neighborhoods intimidating people. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's certainly a possibility if you look at history and the way they talk. And I think that's why Trump is so confident in his actions, because he thinks his people have all the guns. His people are the ones that are ready to shoot people like Kyle Rittenhouse. So I would just say, if you're like me, you're kind of center left, go out and arm yourself. We need to be ready. Thanks, guys.
Well, I'm with you on that, Matt.
All right, Matt.
I purchased a shotgun.
Did you really?
I did. Yeah, I didn't want to destroy anybody, but it's enough to at least immobilize somebody. And now I'm thinking of a handgun, something I can carry around like Wyatt Earp.
Well,
You already got a holster for your phone, or you can have one for a gun.
Yeah, and you got that Longmire coat.
I do.
So but you do need a cowboy hat. You got to get a cowboy hat.
That's true. I can save Middleton at least,
Okay. This portion of the John and Gordy Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress. Sleep better, dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress. Check them out on Madison's east side or west side, or go to verlo.com.
Your neighbors are thinking that maybe it was Van Orden. and had the cowboy hat on.
Oh, okay.
Possibly.
We're back with leftovers coming up.
Terrific if you like eating leftovers.
Leftovers.
Leftovers?
I kept the leftovers.
The leftovers!
Just some leftovers. Leftovers for a week and a half. He ate those leftovers.
Funeral leftovers.
Leftovers. Enjoy.
You're gonna enjoy these? Nah, you won't like any of this stuff. No.
Oh, great.
You know, Dan O'Donnell is a radio announcer in Milwaukee. He's on, I think, 9 o'clock in the morning. Easy hours, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And he is happy, a TV weather person, fired for pointing out Musk's white nationalist Nazi salute.
Wait a minute. The TV weather person was fired.
Fired for making comments on social media pointing out that it was a Sieg Heil. That's what it was. But the TV station, what is it? CBS 58 decided that her talents as a meteorologist were no longer needed at the station because of her tweets, her commentary. And it was tough commentary, but anytime you see somebody in the national forum like that, right next to the president, giving the Sieg Heil salute twice, it's not an accident. And she pointed it out. And so she was fired, right?
And I wonder if that was her official, website or something for the TV station, or was it her private website? And if that would make a difference, it probably wouldn't matter either way.
Yeah, I tried to find that out. I couldn't. I thought it was a private site. I thought it was a private.
It was on It looks like it was on Instagram.
Her Instagram.
And
I think she tried to hide it and take it private or whatever.
Probably, yeah. But she didn't use the nicest language to refer to Musk.
That's true. She did not.
She did call him a Nazi, but that's not the worst of what she said. But then again, Nazis probably deserve that kind of language.
Now, cognitive dissonance blogger Chris Capper-Liebenthal wrote, "The truth hurts, doesn't it, brown shirt?" And he's talking to Dan O'Donnell, basically, who points out these things all the time, Mr. Right Winger. And I think Dan Schaefer posted this as well. He posted a cover, or at least the article, from the Hollywood Reporter that said exactly the same thing, pointing out the Sieg Heil. I know that some groups came out and said, well, we're not exactly sure. But, this kind of coverage, this news coverage where we're not exactly sure, so we're not going to say anything. It's okay, give the Sieg Heil. We're not sure yet. We don't know what's in his head.
Maybe just waving at the crowd.
Yeah, that's it.
He was excited.
So let him go. Let him go. That's okay. Well, no, we're not going to do that. Sorry about that. It's just not happening, okay? This hit the fan, and I wasn't sure it was real for a long time, and later in the evening it became real. Trump signed an executive order revoking an equal employment opportunity executive order signed by LBJ in 1965, which requires affirmative action and prohibits federal contractors from discriminating on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or national origin. So, again, this is going after DEI, supposedly, or affirmative action made illegal by the Supreme Court. It's not really, but they want to include it in that now. So the executive order does away with equal employment opportunity.
There we go.
Yep. Wow. I'm just like,
just like that. Hi, Mark is on the line. And let's go to Mark. Good morning. You're on with John and Gordy.
Yeah, I think you picked it up. They're talking about the weather person in they're in Channel 58 yesterday in the afternoon. That it was her personal account. Apparently, she posted that, and that. I don't know why Elon Musk, and now some of the righties are going to say, well, he's on the spectrum, so he should be in the autism spectrum, so he should be forgiven of that. I have a cousin that's on that spectrum, and he has never pulled any of that crap. I mean, he's like same age as I am. We were both child of 1958 and born up in the 60s, and God bless my aunt for raising him because he's a pretty functional adult, and and they didn't have the support services back then as they have today. So God bless her, for that. But I mean, it just for cutting slack over this crap is just something else. I mean, it is just. I might be kind of calling Mr. O'Donnell today because he's just another little Clan O'Donnell.
He really is.
Unfortunately, FCC restrictions, which should be unconstitutional as well. If you want to do all this other stuff, why the heck can't we use George Carlin's words right now? Because right now, I think it's pretty appropriate.
Right.
I agree with you. It's just outrageous what is happening. And this is Sam Kuffel, is the meteorologist, and very young. And this is again her personal account. You think at least give her some kind of break on this, maybe a vacation for a week or two and let it die down. But, Dan O'Donnell's one of these guys, just like, some kind of rabid dog won't let go.
Well, and the thing is, you really think that Elon Musk didn't know what he was doing? Really? Do you think that he wasn't doing a Nazi salute?
Obviously, he
knew
was.
that he was doing
He
it?
was. Well,
of course he was.
They juxtapose a Nazi in one of those marches giving that salute. They juxtapose it side by side with Elon doing the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. This pound on your chest, and then the Sieg Heil.
Yeah.
Maybe a Freudian slip or something like that. Maybe if he thought about it, wouldn't have done it, but subconsciously, oh boy, he
looked like he was
wanted to
laughing while he was doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you just don't do that.
Yeah.
For appearance sake, you don't do it. Okay. Whatever you're thinking, you
think
want
it in any form, you're still a Nazi.
And if you do that in the back room someplace, you're still doing it.
Yes.
But we're not seeing it. But he's doing it right out in public, and we ought to call him on it.
Hey, that's going to do it for us. Stephanie Miller is next tomorrow on the big show. We've got Jimmy K with a Max Inc. preview and Pam Yaki. Have a great day.
Take care.
John Gordy.